Hi and welcome back to Recreate Creative Corner. It's good to see you again. I am feeling a little bit like a donkey today, so I'm going to wear my donkey inspired crown, headdress, headpiece, wearable art for the entire 5 minutes that I'm with you. So in the last video we used newspaper to mold stuff and to make things like vegetables, and I've started to put together some slightly more carroty or parsnippy shapes here. Now I don't have any orange, so I've gone with making my carrot gold. I haven't finished it obviously, but it will look kind of cool I think once it's all covered in the foil. So this inspired me, the foil inspired me to move on to our next thing that could be inspiration for you to make at home during the springtime and be inspired by what's around us. Is using tin foil. Now I know some people don't have tin foil, but it's actually a really great art material, and I'll tell you what, it's kind of really easy to mold like into a sculpture. So I was thinking that I might try and make something. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to whip out some tin foil here. Sorry about the noise. Nice big length of it. And then I'm just going to scrunch it up. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm going to see. Oh, that's kind of unusual. You can see like a kind of bird coming out of it. I don't know if you can see there. So I literally just scrunched that. So be inspired by, have an idea is always nice, but be inspired by just rolling with it and just seeing what happens. Because I find a lot with like making and doing that, when you start doing something, sometimes you start off doing something, you're like, oh, I'm going to make a badger, and then it ends up being something completely unrelated. But it's just a case of kind of going with it. So this is kind of cool. Quite like this, almost like a firebirdy, maybe like a fishy type of fin at the back there. Maybe it's a flying fish bird. So once you've kind of got your basic shape, I think maybe I might put wings on afterwards, which might be quite nice. But we've got our basic shape there, and I'm hoping that I have, whoopsie, and just bear with me 1 second because I don't. I just want to grab some wool to wrap around. Now I do have a lot of wool. Okay, this is rather nice one. I think this ball of wool might have been given to me by my mum. Hi mum, if you're watching. This might have been given to me by my mum for, I don't know what, hair braiding or something. So I'm just going to tie it around the neck. Now this is lovely. This is another one of those things that's really like a nice rhythm. I'm just going to wrap it around and around. If you find you want a bit more neck definition, just give it a little strangle there. And then we can begin to see that it's coming together. Just keep going over and over. It is a little bit tricky. So like the likes of around the beak here would be a little bit tricky. If you do have, let me think, maybe like a drawing pin, you could pop that into the beak or into whatever you're making, into the nose there, because the wool might have a tendency to fall off. So you just put a little drawing pin in the end there, and that will stop the wool from sliding off the end of the ends. You could also, this is quite thin, so when you come to wrapping this end, you could just fold that tinfoil over the top of the wool there, just to stop it from slipping off. And then once you've finished with it, just add a touch of glue to the end, or you could even just leave the drawing pin in the end there if it wasn't being used. So yeah, so you get the idea, and it's starting to come together, and it looks kind of cool with the silver coming through. So you could make any kind of animals. You could make spring inspired animals like lambs and calf, like baby cows, chicks. I've noticed that the snails were asleep, and I saw 2 snails this morning in the front garden whilst I was watering some flowers. And what else? Oh, worms! We've seen lots of worms yesterday hanging out under a plant pot. So that could be inspiring you, just like the animals that are around you as well, or maybe birds. I know there's I think there is robins nesting in the garden, which is lovely, very cheeky robins. So maybe this is inspired by what's around me. Anyway, I hope that is helpful for you, and keep interacting with us. We love seeing what you're doing, and sure, we'll be seeing you in the next video. So take care until then, and thanks for joining us. Take care, bye.